Autocar got some interesting new info here from Toyota GR engineer Hiroyuki Yamada, who is working on the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder GR motor that we just saw a couple of months back in the mid-engined Yaris, GR Yaris M Concept, as they call it. So he revealed that this engine can be paired with a hybrid and a plug-in hybrid powertrain. Now, he said can be. Doesn't mean it absolutely will be, but it sounds like that is what they're working on here. He says this engine is smaller and lighter thanks to a shorter piston stroke, and that the lighter engine will minimize the weight penalty of adding on the hybrid stuff. So hopefully, it won't be this giant bloated thing like we're seeing with many others. And the engineer said, this technology we create, we will apply to both motorsport and passenger car engines. In the future, we want a more fuel-efficient engine for GR cars. So past rumors have suggested this thing could do 400 horsepower. Now, I think we were all assuming it would do 400 horsepower unassisted, because, we see obviously Mercedes does like their 2-liter, 4-cylinder that does like 416 horsepower. So we know it's definitely possible in a production vehicle these days. But whether Toyota wants to take a more conservative approach and rely on the hybridization to get to the 400, which sounds like more of the Toyota way to not, maximize a motor that much, for a production car, we'll have to see. So maybe the 400 horsepower is for a plug-in hybrid version or something like that. But either way, 400 horsepower in a GR car, sounds like a great time here. And, should still sound great too, being obviously a turbo 4-cylinder. Those always have the potential to sound really cool if they're tuned right. And as far as that mid-engine concept, that's rumored to be a test mule for a new MR2 potentially, Yamada provided a funny update here on the development, with him telling Autocar, and Autocar saying here that the concept has a tendency to lose control when the weight shifts in long corners, something Yamada calls a pray to God moment. And this is something we still need to develop, he says, which sounds like an understatement if the car is scaring you to death mid-corner. So that kind of gives you a barometer of how far along we are on MR2 development, if it is actually an MR2 or whatever, they're, doing with this thing. I think clearly, there's a lot of work to be done, so don't expect a new MR2 next year. Sounds like if, again, this mule is, being temperamental and tricky already, give them time to work out the mule and then put it into production stuff. And it's going to be a while. So, the Japanese don't rush development, that's for sure. And I'm sure it'll be, late 2020s here before we actually see this vehicle show up. But that's a fun little update. And it's always cool whenever they kind of peel back the curtain a little bit, and are willing to reveal this stuff. So great report there by Autocar, and interested to see, what those hybridized GR products end up looking like here in the future.